Hello everyone, my name is GhostX and today I've got another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer video for you guys. So in the background here we've got some Black Ops 2 gameplay against bots because unfortunately I've only got Black Ops 2 currently on my PC and it's very difficult to find an online match and I'm very crap at PC at the moment, so do forgive my poor gameplay, just getting used to the controller and everything like that. But anyway, today we're going to talk about something pretty interesting that's got the community talking quite a bit, and that's one of the specialist characters within Call of Duty Black Ops 3's multiplayer. If you don't know about the specialist, I did a video on this and it'll be linked in the description. But one of the specialists is called Nomad. This is one of the two new ones that were revealed back in June, mid-June at E3. And Nomad has, obviously like all the other specialists, he has a specialist weapon and a specialist ability. Now the one that's caused a bit of controversy is Nomad's specialist ability, which is called Rejack. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit and compare it to some other games that have similar mechanics, and I also wanted to talk to you about how it actually works, if it will or will not benefit you, and which not game modes will sort of work better with this feature. So firstly, what Rejack actually does. So Rejack effectively allows you to bring yourself back to life upon a death. Now, if you don't know how the specialist weapons and specialist abilities, the power meter sort of works, the way it works is when you're in game, whichever one you have equipped, you have to choose a specialist before each match. It's in a separate menu from score streaks and creator class. You have to choose them between each game. You can't switch out your specialists in game. They have to be done between a game in a pre-game lobby or in the multiplayer main menu. Once you've chosen your specialist, you have to choose your specialist weapon or ability that comes with the specialist. You have to choose it, together. But you can only have one. You can't have your ability and your weapon active at the same time. It's got to be one or the other, and you can only obviously have one specialist active at a time. So say you go ahead and equip Nomad with his specialist ability Rejack. Let's talk to you about how you earn these specialist weapons or abilities. So whichever you're rocking, in the bottom right hand corner of the screen you'll get a power meter. Now this meter fills up depending on score, so it will fill up over time. So if you did nothing, you just stood still for an entire game and just managed to not get kicked for inactivity, it'll still fill, but it's very slow. Now if any action you perform in game that allows you to earn score, so every time you see numbers appear on your screen as in score, that will also accelerate the speed at which your power meter is increase. So the more you play and the more sort of objectively you play and the more score you get, the quicker your power meter fills and the quicker you can get your specialist weapon or specialist ability, whichever you have equipped at the time. Now you know how they work, how you get them, and that. The Rejack ability, the reason it's caused a bit of controversy is because obviously it allows you to come back to life, which you may see in certain gamers like Search and Destroy. That can be interesting to say the least. So let's talk about the actual Rejack mechanic and how it works. So first of all, this is unlike the other specialist ability and specialist weapons in the game, where as soon as you earn them, you can hit your left and right bumpers on console, which will activate your specialist weapon or ability. You cannot activate Rejack until you are in death, and so as soon as you've died, and it only triggers after you've died, after you've earned it. So as soon as you've earned it, your next death after earning it will trigger Rejack automatically. So what will actually happen is when you die upon receiving Rejack, you'll go into a last stand / final stand like pose. Now don't worry, I use those two words just to compare the actual animation. It's nothing like last stand or final stand. I think that's where people are going wrong and they're getting confused. As soon as they see it, they're like, oh, last stands back shit, or final stands back is horrible. You know, it's nothing like that. It's just the animation is sort of reused a little bit. In fact, it's completely different really. It's just the way it looks. You basically fall down and then you bring out your wrist, which has this little tack pad on it, and it says Rejack, and you have a little timer on it. If you don't Rejack within a certain time, you just die out like usual and you respawn. Or you can hold square or your use button to terminate, which means you basically don't Rejack, you die, and you keep your Rejack ability for later on. So you can choose when you use it. You don't have to use it the second the animation happens. You can save it and use it for a different death if you want to. But the whole time that your Rejack meter is filled, you will always go down into that animation every time you die with the Rejack meter filled, if you get me there. But when you hit the L1 and R1 or the bumper buttons on console, when you're downed in the Rejack sort of animation, then you can activate it, in which case as soon as you do that, you will basically pop back up and a huge mist of green smoke will go around you to try and conceal you, and you can then try and make your escape or try and kill whoever tried to kill you. Now, that sounds a little bit overpowered if you think about it, because obviously, in Search and Destroy, if you're being shot at and you go down into this down state, they may just run away and you just put yourself back up and you kill them, and then you've got yourself a free kill. But it's nothing like that, honestly. This is probably one of the most underpowered specialist abilities in the game, and I think it's in dire need of a buff. And the reason I say that is because I have seen so many people in YouTubers gameplays or press gameplays from E3 where they use this ability, and I did not see one of them manage to make a getaway or use the ability successfully. I have seen multiple gameplays of this, and what basically happens is in 9 out of 10, or in my case 10 out of 10 circumstances of watching this, you basically pop back up and you're shot dead instantly, because as soon as you pop yourself back up, in fact as soon as you go down into that animation, you'll pop a few green smoke flares, so try and continue a bit, but as soon as you get back up you pop massive mists of green smoke. That gives away your position, and that makes everyone know you just rejacked. So everyone on the map who's got line of sight will see that green smoke and they'll go, ooh, someone just rejacked, and they'll shoot into the green smoke. They'll blind fire, they'll do whatever, they know someone's rejacked, and you'll die. So what I think needs to be done here is, first of all, I reckon thermal scope shouldn't be able to see into the rejack smoke. I don't know if they can or not already, but I think that will help the rejacker out a lot, because obviously they're just going to get shot dead, they're going to get spawn killed trying to use their ability, which I think is stupid. It makes the ability useless. The other thing I would do to buff it probably is maybe concuss or stun enemies nearby when you rejack, which is reminds me a little bit about Destiny's Purifier robes, which basically when you do the self-res, you sort of it's an exotic armor piece and you can do that. But that's what I'm kind of comparing it to, is Destiny's self-revive, which works a little similar. And in my opinion, self-revive is really cool in any game because it makes everything more tense, and it's even more fun in a game mode where you have one life and no respawns. Because remember, these abilities you can't use all the time. You can use them 2, maybe 3 times in one match if you're lucky. And they've altered it, Treyarch have altered it between each game mode so that it works efficiently for each game mode. So for example, in Search and Destroy, you're going to earn your specialist weapons or specialist ability much less. The meter is going to fill up slower over time and through scoring events. And the reason they do that is so you don't earn it like 4 or 5 times in Search and Destroy, because that'd be crazy. Can you imagine people rejacking everywhere? No, nightmare. So they have balanced it very, very well. I just think Rejack needs a buff, and I think a lot of people are seeing it and worrying a bit too much. They're looking at it and thinking, oh, it's final stand, oh my god, you can self-revive, you can shoot someone, they'll just get back up and shoot you in the back. It's really not like that. Out of all the gameplays I've seen, and I've studied this extensively from E3 gameplay, it's nothing like that. 9 times out of 10, as I said, you just get shot dead the second you rejack, so I think it needs a buff or something that can help the rejacker out a little bit. I think they were a little bit buried, I don't know what I was about to say then, a little bit worried. I think Treyarch were a little bit worried about making Rejack too strong because the community would react badly to it. They already have reacted badly to it, and I think they do need to buff it, and maybe the community will probably react even worse to that, but I think generally for the all-round purpose of improving the game, it will improve the game, because at the moment I don't see any reason to run Rejack, because you just get shot dead the second you use it, and instead you can be running something like the glitch ability, where you can go backwards like a few seconds, and you know that is hard to counter. You do that, I think that's more overpowered. I wouldn't say it's overpowered because it is well balanced, but it's more overpowered, or more useful, I should say. That's a more accurate word, more accurate word, if I can get my words out properly, than saying it's overpowered. I can't really see anything overpowered with Black Ops 3 at the moment. It's really, really well balanced. They're doing everything right, I see so far. Let's just hope the final copy of the game reflects what I'm seeing at the moment. But I would like Rejack to be a really useful ability, but at the same time I don't want it to be annoying, and I think that's the same thing that Treyarch want, and I think we probably will get that. They know what they're doing, and I think the community should worry a little bit less about Rejack, because honestly I can't see a lot of people run this in the final build of the game or the beta. Probably a few of them just to test it out at first, just to see what it's like, but I think most people will probably generally sort of drift towards some of the better abilities and weapons, like the Annihilator pistol. That's a good specialist weapon, or the Reaper's Scythe is another good weapon, or the glitch ability. I think those are going to be a bit more mainstream and a little bit more useful and used than the Rejack. But I know myself, I'm going to run Rejack on Search and Destroy because I really want to make it work. I want to, you know, see if I can make the gameplay more tense by self-reviving and everything. But anyway, that's basically my video on Rejack, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm close to 500 subscribers at the point of making this video, and like to share the video around. That will really help my channel out. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. GhostX out.